Well, took long enough for a Tamagotchi PNG tuber to make a Tamagotchi related video, didn't it? I'm sure all of you know about the Tamagotchi anime. Tamagotchi is an anime that ran from 2009 to 2015. Spinning off from Tamagotchi, the happiest story in the universe, which is the sequel. The show centers around the daily, regular lives of Mamechi and his Tama friends, including Memechi, Kuchipachi, Kyo Mamechi, and many others I'm blanking. However, I want to focus on two characters in particular that have caused this show to not only grow more popular in Japan, but spark some conversations from fans everywhere. Them being Love Lychee and Melodichi. These two have been very well known and loved ever since they were introduced in 2009 and 2010 respectively, and are often seen together throughout the series and take up a lot of screen time, and to the surprise of
Rocket cucumbers!
It's actually one of the more recognized ships within the community. It's one of those instances where the ship's existence can pretty much be put on the show itself.
Crooked cucumbers, I quit!
Quick thing before I begin, shout out to my friend VT for creating my current channel banner. It took him 5 months to complete, and I'm more than happy with how it turned out. And I can happily say I did the mate. With the series premiering in 2009, Love Lychee was created specifically given this entire mini arc where she has to balance out her superstar life and school life. The last time her idol life was public, she was constantly mocked and ridiculed for it at all the. Her character was used to provide some commentary on the idol industry like overexploitation and corporate greed.
You stupid
Season 2 marks the introduction of Melodichi, a violinist from Melodyland. Whereas Love Lychee is very bubbly and energetic,
Rocket cucumbers!
Melodichi is a lot more laid back, yet still matches I guess Melody lands in America. Yeah, By season 3, both Love Lychee and Melodichi's screen time within the show had dramatically increased to the point where they became a bigger focal point of a good chunk of the episodes. World will end or something. And it's a huge deter away from the slice of life angle that gave the show its charm.
Rocket cucumber!
It felt like it was only done because Love Lychee and Melodichi were that popular, and what's more wild is that after the arc concluded and ended season 6 in the first day of the show, as I introduced Yume Michi and Kiriichi, who aspire to be idols and are given these Yume Kira bags to do magical girl stuff. And after they made us think he was going away forever. Even Himaspechi was brought back for some reason. But aside from a one-time appearance in Yume Kira Dream, these two were not seen again until Go-Go Tamagotchi, which are admittedly my favorite seasons next to season.
Crooked cucumbers, I quit!
And these seasons are not bad per se. Hell, I'd even go as far as to say I like Miracle Friends. But they reek of Bandai's corporate greed, and I believe that riding its own hype instead of sticking to its guns is part of what eventually killed the show. But more depth on that should be saved for a later video because this one's about shipping. I'm in danger. There are not any major romance plots within the Tamagotchi anime aside from the parents and characters
How poopity poop!
and Space CG having a crush on. On a side note, I'm really not a fan of how Himaspechi's character was basically just I love Mamechi and rarely anything else. She's still better than who she replaced.
Somewhere I developed this one.
God, imagine if this show was airing today in the US. And Love Lychee and Melodichi's relationship is no exception because, obviously, these two are just considered friends. But as I've said, you can't really blame the Love Melo crowd for shipping it because there have been plenty of times the show pulled something with these two that are Obviously, this doesn't mean that the ship is canon, but since Melodichi's debut, there have been plenty of scenes in the show where it can easily be seen as
Rocket cucumbers.
in episode 96, Is This a Confession? Mystery Profile. The friends are showing Tama profiles, which are cards that give details about someone, including their home address. How nice. And there's a page detached from someone's profile reading, I love you, Melodichi, and the group spends the whole episode figuring out who wrote it until it's revealed to be written by who else but Lovelychi. Keep in mind, earlier in the episode they explained that there's a difference between liking somebody and loving them because Melodichi appears to be oblivious to the idea of love. Might want to put a pin on that. And in the popular episode 120, Melody Revived, part 2 of Melody Violin Loses Its Sound, Memechi walks in on Lovelychi doing a little drawing while everyone is sleeping, and it's a drawing of Melodichi playing Oh, and even a Tamaverse ticket, nice. But the And it's the heavy implications that Melodichi is asexual, as shown with their obliviousness towards romance. Okay, well, it honestly surprises me because I haven't really seen much ace representation in Mia, so if Melodichi is indeed asexual, that's pretty cool. Doesn't change that Lovelychi seems to really like her. It's not entirely dishonorable to Melodichi's asexuality to ship Love Mel when the lover is the one with love in her name. I am so funny. Melodichi sees Lovelychi as her best friend, aside from her violin apparently, and no doubt that Lovelychi feels the same, but to more of a degree where she admires her, which is why there are plenty of scenes between these two that can be For Nechi has crushes on Momochi and Himechi, but also has a very deep admiration for Kiyomamechi, even going as far as to call him senpai in one of his fantasies. Giving off some heavy bisexual vibes, and that
I'll give you delicacy.
There are a few instances of cross-dressing throughout the show, like in episode 7A where Memechi and Chamamechi morph bodies, episode 15A where it's revealed that Memechi secretly wears Loveland-themed pajamas, episode 117 where Memechi, in the character of Detective Ampan, wears a dress with makeup as his
When I said a partner, I was referring to a male partner, you guys. Besides, a pair made by two girls.
And even episode 40 of Go-Go Tamagotchi has him especially in a mask and disguise
Rocket cucumber.
just to be with Memechi. It also included this scene.
Come on, Loveland. Let's go skating to Tamagotchi Palace together. I'll always protect you.
Look at the sky, Loveland. That's the skating constellation. We can chase it together.
Well, that would be cool.
And there are some others I could list off, but I believe you guys would think I've lost my marbles if I did. Okay, we can all agree that Lovelychi's original outfit is literally the trans flag.
Okay, now that was a good one.
I know, like all fandoms, the Tamagotchi fanbase is divided on queer representation, but Love Mel being the common ship makes me believe that there's a bigger chunk of the fanbase that actually wants this kind of representation than I thought. And as someone who's been proudly gender fluid and bisexual for a few years now, it's honestly quite heartening. I feel like it'd be weird to suddenly make Lovelychi and Melodichi canonically lovers, considering they were not meant to be in a romantic relationship.
That's all the time we have for today. I'm Mr. Happy, and I'm Miss Sunshine. Join us tomorrow for Good Morning Dilly Dow.